2022 was long enough ago to now decipher that it might have been the best year in horror in the last decade. That's right, guys. Today we were talking about the infamous year of 2022 that was star-studded. Of course, it had some duds, it had some misses. But all in all, it brought some of my favorite horror movies in recent memory into my adulthood. Oftentimes you grow up with movies that when you're younger, you're really down bad for. It has this charm over it that you really fuck with, but then you look back and in hindsight, it wasn't that good. But I feel like we're all old enough to know now that 2022 has some bangers. And in this video, we're gonna go down memory lane a little bit. Not too far back, but we're gonna talk about 3 specific movies that had not only the best kills, but the best reasoning behind these kills. That's right, guys, I'm very excited about this video. So if that sounds interesting to you, come hang out with me. Let's do this. What up, y'all? Welcome back to Phantom of the Indie Review. I am your host, Dylan with 14 L's. We are currently on the journey of 5,000 subscribers by October, the spookiest time of year, because on this channel, we pop off in October. We're like little gremlin rats, we crawl out of the woodwork. I want to give a huge shout out to all the day ones that have been supporting this channel for the longest time, the consistent commenters, the ones that bring intricate, thought-provoking ideas to the table, the ones that, just tell me good things. You guys are the best. If you want to be a part of that community, like we down bad for some new sacrifices. I mean, homies. So if you love nostalgic horror, modern horror, just creepy stuff in general, this is your place, and we're about to snap, dude. We're about to turn the fuck up. Come hang out with me. Give me a shabby. MGK dropped a new album today, and I was deciding whether or not I should review a video or listen to that.
Oh my God.
Let's start off the rip by giving some horror movies some credit that didn't quite make the cut for this video, because not everyone's gonna make the ratty party. Not everyone's gonna be a part of the Drip Fed Dread show. Apparently, not everyone's gonna be a part of the Drip Fed Dread fucking Hall of Fame, dude. There are some that didn't quite make the cut, and there's one specific that I do want to talk about real quick, get this out of the way, because it's a hot take. And if you feel like you can make it past this, then maybe this channel is made for you. Halloween Ends, that's right, the infamous, notorious finale of the rebooted Halloween trilogy that a lot of people despised. Hear me out, I fucked with it heavy. I really like the fact that they took a swing for it. They did something different. I like the idea, and hear me out, this is kind of a theory I have within myself. Michael Myers, this horrific, brutal, ghastly entity, was known for tormenting a city, a town, a small part of the world for decades. And as that fear kind of fizzled out and went away, and people started to forget about him, naturally, that new tragedy occurred where that young teenage boy was babysitting the one night and the tragic murder happened. And then he is left to be the new, face of hatred in the town. And that, says a lot about social commentary, That's the next big thing. There's always one diabolical killer out there or murderer that, is the face of attention, the thing that everyone's afraid of. They close their doors at night to, and then when that fear fades away, ultimately another one replaces it. And I just feel like all around that whole thing with the young kid meeting up with Michael Myers down in the drainage ditch, and them sharing a connection of evil that Michael Myers kind of sees through him and grooms him to be a next great killer, was just a really fun and interesting idea. And I feel like maybe it should have been the second one and not the finale. I feel like the finale itself should have been more of not an homage, a cliche cop-out, but a tied-up rendition for the trilogy. But I really appreciate that movie a lot. The crazy thing about talking about 2022 is that we also got one of the most dog shit fucking horrendous movies of all time. That's right, that I didn't hate the most. And hear me out, if you guys know me, it's no shame by now that my number 1 favorite movie is in a deadlock tie with another one. The first one, House of 1,000 Corpses. That's obviously. The second one, obviously, is Jeepers Creepers. I love the movie. I'm a fucking huge fan of it. I'm a simp for the creeper. I have a giant blanket of it somewhere. Part 1 and 2. Grew up with them. They're my favorite movies. And then we get hit with a fecal matter, runny, diarrhea, dog shit, water rendition of the fucking reboot, Jeepers Creepers Reborn. More like fucking Jeepers Creepers Rebored. Because it was so fucking bad. But hear me out. I like to find the silver lining in things. I did like the corny aesthetic to it, it was filmed almost. I feel like because it was such low budget and cheap, it had this weird mythical, magical soundtrack to it, and the fake moonlight and the stage, the set looked like a stage that it kind of reminded me of a play mixed with an early 2000s sci-fi movie. So that kind of tugged at my heartstrings. But all around, that movie was just shit entirely. Other than that, the creature design is horrible. the super meta-ness to it. It worked, but it just wasn't fun. That whole intro at the beginning where they did like that like Cold Case Files episode about the true case was actually pretty interesting, but the movie just fell flat. And like the acting was uninspired, the vibe was off, and the movie fucking didn't piss me off as much as it pissed off everyone else, but I was thoroughly disappointed. Hear me out, guys. When we get to 1 million subscribers and I'm making bank off this channel, we're all gonna collaboratively pitch in to buy the rights to Jeepers Creepers and make our own Jeepers Creepers movie, right? And there was also other great successes that can't go unnoted, like Joe Hill's adaptation of The Black Phone starring Ethan Hawke that a lot of people like. That supernatural, child predator, mysterious vibe with like the kids going missing and that dude fucking like demonically tormenting them. We had the long-awaited Scream sequel slash reboot that kind of really kick-started the whole, was it the Fantastic Four, the Core Four, that ended up disbanding the entire next movie because of fucking social media and drama. But you know, Jenna Ortega, that one girl, I feel like this last trilogy of Scream could have been very special if it wasn't for, again, politics and drama. I don't know the whole details of it. I'm not going to get into it because I'm not here to argue and like belittle people's opinions. All I just know is that like half the cast left, and it's like, y'all were making something great that was actually worthwhile. And then we even had Smile, a highly regarded film. I think it's starring Kevin Bacon's daughter, but a lot of people like that. So 2022 had some bangers, but in this video we're going to be talking about 3 specific ones, 3 kills that tie together perfectly. 2022 was such an awesome year. Let's get the easy one out of the way, the one that I have the least amount to say about. The top 2 are a doozy. Terrifier 2. If you love Damien Leone, if you love the lore of Art the Clown, I was there for the lore of Art the Clown. Maybe I didn't see the original, like, I know Art the Clown was in like an original movie called like The 9 Circles of Hell or something like that. I'll put it up here. But when I was like 20 or 21, I was at a movie store, because believe it or not, they used to have stores that sold movies back in the day. Ain't no Netflix and shit. I saw the movie called All Hallows Eve with the cover of Art the Clown on it, and it sent shivers down my spine. Rented it. Was a little disappointed in it, but in my mind, at my young heart, I was like, this character is too cool to pass up on. Like, I feel like it has a aesthetic, a cool vibe to it that can't be passed up. And then a couple years later, it's in development that they're making a Terrifier movie. So like, I felt good about myself because I was like, it's like I'm like the judge of America's Got Talent for like horror movie things. Like, I see like little ideas and I'm like, that's actually really cool. All of a sudden it starts to pop off and go mainstream, and I'm like, Fim did it, I knew it. Yeah, Terrifier 2, there's this one scene in specific towards the end where this insignificant friends gets totally fucking mutilated, dude. And like, obviously in movies, carnage candy, getting picked off one by one, the little side characters that only have a few lines, you know they're up for grabs, you know they're, if something's lurking in the shadows, they're getting got first just for, you know, the thrill of the kill. But this poor girl, I feel like she got done the dirtiest in like the most malicious and like gut-wrenching way, where even when Terrifier 3 came out, like I feel like none of the kills even top that brutal scene where he attacks her in the room, rips her apart, dumps salt on her, like some crazy ass shit. If you haven't seen Terrifier 2, I highly recommend it if you're into like the gore aspect. I'm really not, like I'm not squeamish, but like I don't like kills for pleasure in movies. Like I'm more of a psychological, atmospheric, creeped out movie lover or a horror comedy. But Terrifier 2 was just so crazy and insane, and that scene was so immersive and brutal that it just sends shivers down your spine every time. I remember watching it for the first time and I was like, damn. Apparently people puked. I hate when they say that, they're like, oh, this movie caused moviegoers to puke, and when you the whole time you just know it's a dude in the theater eating popcorn. He's like chugs a Dr. Pepper and he's like, oh, this movie sucks, I'm gonna go home. And everyone's like, dude, this movie scared him so bad he puked. Anyway, side little tangent, let's get into the top 2 favorite kills for 2 different reasons. My number 2 is from my second favorite movie of the 2022, and that is Zach Kreger's Barbarian. You know our homeboy Zach Kreger, the funny dude from The Whitest Kids You Know, Miss March. He decided to make a horror movie that's very brilliant. It drips mystery, and every stone is, there's no stone left unturned. Every corner, it's like one of those movies that you watch where it takes a sharp left every corner it can. It hits you with a jaw-dropping moment and then switches up, which I really love and appreciate. And the reason I like this movie a lot is because of the social commentary behind it in a good way, where the girl gets the Airbnb and the dude's staying there, and there's a mess up on the tickets. They both rent the same room, and inherently you have this gut feeling that you cannot trust Bill Skarsgård's character because he is a man, and men are usually the ones that are kind of like instigating and sneaky, and even though they're like kind and genuine and like at face value protectors, they're doing maniacal stuff. But then it hits you with that flip side of the girls that sometimes females overreact, and like they will take genuine, because of not being jaded but being scared, they take that as being superficial and their guard is up and they act more insecure and almost ready to attack than you should. But the scene I'm referring to is when they kind of connect a bond, the two characters. She gets home from it. She gets back to the Airbnb for an interview, and she cannot find Bill Skarsgård's character anywhere. And she goes down in the deep, murky, creepy basement. And down there, it reveals that there's this giant, fucking scary ass underground cave system in the basement, and we see Bill Skarsgård crawling, begging for his life, going, shh, don't go that way, don't go that way, don't go that way. And then you're freaked out because you're like, oh, this dude is a creep. He's like luring her down there because he's like, help. And you're like, dude, don't go down there. I thought Bill Skarsgård was a cool guy. Turns out he's just a freak. He's luring you down there for a reason. And then but a part of you like feels that genuine nature because he established so much time building this trust with her that you're like, what is going on? Something is creepy. And as he's leaning up against the wall and he's like, don't go that way, out of nowhere a fucking crazy mischievous monster runs out of the dark and smashes his fucking brains into a bloody pulp against the wall. And the best part about it just cuts and moves on from the movie to a whole new character arc, and that leaves you like speechless. Like you're really like, until you see fucking Justin Long driving down a road singing some music, and you're like, what the fuck? Like Sunnyside, California, dude. They were just in a dank, decrepit basement, and he just got his brains bashed in, and he was supposed to be the main character. Bill Skarsgård popped off with fucking all these movies, the It Chapter 1s and Chapter 2s, and this is his next follow-up movie, and all of a sudden he's killed halfway through. Damn, that shit was wild. I love this movie so much. If you guys want me to do a more in-depth review on Barbarian, let me know, I will. But with that being said, my number one personal favorite kill and movie of the 2022s, I don't know if it's obvious. If it is, I'm sorry. X. That's right, Ty West's X. I've been a fan of Ty West since I was a kid. I really liked The Innkeepers and The House of the Devil. I have a review on that movie, and like he was one of like my childhood like heroes essentially, because he was like this underground indie filmmaker that just made creepy, eerie, tone fueled movies. And then for the longest time I was like, I wonder what happened to Ty West. He did like a few westerns and shit, and then all of a sudden they're like, yo, he's coming out with a movie called X, and it was one that like you watch the trailer and you're like, ooh, a slasher, kind of Texas Chainsaw Massacre inspired with the filmography, with the cinematography and landscape of it, but you didn't know what to expect. And when I saw this movie, I genuinely was stunned with how powerful and intricate it is. It genuinely gave us a new scream queen of horror, Mia Goth's Maxine, and not only did she do a stellar job playing Maxine, she played the dual character protagonist Pearl, and I didn't even know that till I finished watching the movie. I watched the special effects and they're like, yeah, we had fucking Mia play Pearl as well. And it's beautiful because in this movie they're mirroring each other. Maxine Minx is this young promiscuous adult entertainment star, and she is going to a ranch to film a provocative movie with her crew. And then the owners of this ranch, little do they know that they're not just renting the barn as like an Airbnb type style, they're renting it to make these films. And then the old man and his wife are more sinister than you believe, and it does this great building and pace when you think that the old man is the creepy one, and then the old lady is just kind of senile, Pearl is just kind of out of it and just like creepy and weird and like kind of misunderstood. But it has such a powerful story and theme of aging and missing intimacy and affection and being beautiful. And the thing that's crazy about this is the scene that kind of kickstarts the movie is after they're done filming a passionate film scene, the cameraman's girlfriend is involved in with Kid Cudi day and night. He's like sick to his stomach. He's like, I can't do this film anymore. Like, I don't like this. And he goes to leave, and then he runs into the old lady outside, and he's like, are you lost? Are you okay, ma'am? And there she literally like belligerently attacks him and kills him and like smashes his head in violently, brutally, as they're playing that Blue Oyster Cult song. That's fire. I'm not gonna play it because I'm not gonna get copyright, but like, yeah, I'll sing it. And as she's doing it, like, maybe this is just my sick mind's interpretation, but she's like getting off on it. She's like riding him slowly, gently, vigorously, because since she's so old and she doesn't get none. killing is the next best thing. And it's just like one of those deep, intricate plots where you're like, this old lady is driven into madness because of her old age, because of sexual frustration and being an old lady. And this movie was so well received that in the same year they made Pearl. They made a dual opposite movie about the character Pearl, where Mia Goth plays her, and that gives a whole backstory, lore, and origin of the character and why she's so psychotic. And you find out exactly why. And you find out exactly that Pearl is just psychotic more so than just that one little frame. She's like, oh, I'm so old and horny, I'm gonna kill everyone. She's like, she's been a fucking psychopath since the rip. Honestly, comment down below if you want a fucking whole X trilogy video too, because the more I talk about these movies, that's why I'm glad it's 2022, because sometimes you like do a retrospective on some years and you're like, yeah, those movies are fine, or let me think of a video idea. But 2022 just had some such genuine bangers that they excite me. Like, I still rewatch Barbarian, I still rewatch X, Terrifier. Like, Art the Clown is an icon. Maxine Minx is a scream queen. Zach Kreger seems to be the next up-and-coming face of horror with his movie Weapons that comes out tomorrow, which I'm going to be reviewing next week, and the new Resident Evil Spawn he's doing. So it's like 2022 just harbored like all these iconic moments. Art the Clown became an icon also. So it's crazy to know that 2022, this one random year where people didn't expect much from movie, just became so solidified. I feel like this is going to be one of the years, like, maybe I'm jumping the gun on this video, but I guarantee give it 5-10 more years and people are going to be regarding this specific year as one hell of a year for horror, and come back to this video and be like, that fat weird kid told me that back in 2025, but I thought he was like lying through his teeth. But yeah, it's just a fun little thing I wanted to talk about, because I'm getting into the trajectory of posting more frequently. I'm posting 2 times a week. That's my goal. And I really would like to know down below what you guys want to see more. Do you want to see more Tales from the Crypt episodes, more Rob Zombie content? What era of horror do you want to see? Anything, please. Like, any comment you'll do, I'll pretty much make the video, because I don't get thousands of comments like a lot of content creators do. I get like enough that I'll read them and be like, oh, I'm gonna make that video for a homie. But yeah, 2022 was just a vibe. But alright guys, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe, give me a thumber, hit that ding button harassing you, telling you, hey, it's me, I'm here. And I'm gonna say it 1 time for the 1 time and 2 times for the O's. Give me a hell yeah for horror. Was taking a certain niche of an Italian inspired kind of like late 90s horror movie, like a